Hey everybody, this is me and Buster Green, and I'm going to quickly go over the show Secret Level. Secret Level has been a show that I've been wanting to cover on the channel ever since it was first announced back in the summer, but unfortunately there's not been a lot of information about it, so I kind of had to wait until it finally came out to actually review it. I knew right off the bat that there was going to be a high concept MegaMan movie and like a potentially interesting Pacman movie, and that like Keanu Reeves and Schwarzenegger were involved. But I ended up not covering it until now because, yeah, there was literally nothing to go on, like nothing more than like that sentence I just said. And I didn't think I could make any kind of fun or insightful video covering it until now. Now, there was always, though, a hilarious sub-controversy with the show that one of the episodes is about Concord, a game that got pulled from shelves days after its release, and now, oddly enough, it's being featured in the show, and that's kind of the biggest remaining piece of the game in existence. It's just kind of odd because it being featured in the show seems massively irresponsible that the people who made Concord wasted billions of dollars advertising a game that doesn't even exist, and that advertisements for this game are coming out months after the game has been scrubbed from existence. And I guess it's kind of funny that the people who probably paid for this deal have been already fired from Sony, but nonetheless, here it is. It's finally out. All right, so anyway, what is this show if you don't know about it? Well, it's an anthology series of these really nice CG animated short films. It's a spin-off of the Netflix anthology series Love, Death, and Robots, which was an anthology series of a bunch of sci-fi shorts that all involved robots. But this time around, instead of all involving robots, they all involve classic video games, which sounds cool. But in practice, that's only cool if it's done right. And I want to say right off the bat, half of these stink because they're way too into the idea of you have infinite lives in video games. The other half stink because they kind of come off as like long commercials, but like a handful of them are really, really interesting and would like be really good bases to like eventually make like movies of some of these video games. So let me go all through them one by one and see which ones currently stand out. There's 15 episodes out now. I believe that's season 1. I think there's a season 2 coming. This is just a review of those first 15. Oh, and before I get into it, I want to praise the show for having a hilariously weird reference to the old GameCube startup animation for their opening titles. That was kind of funky, and I appreciated that. Alright, so episode 1, the first one, is Dungeons & Dragons. My main complaint about this one is it doesn't feel like Dungeons & Dragons. Like, if you just showed this to me, I would say, oh, this has got to be Skyrim, right? It feels a lot like Skyrim. It starts off with a guy in a cage like Skyrim, and it's got the races that look very much like Elder Scrolls. But anyway, it's also got a little bit of Game of Thrones energy, too, because it's got, like, the Ice King up there, like, right out of Game of Thrones. But, yeah, I will say that, as far as I can tell, this one at least has some of the most advanced and realistic CGI of the bunch. Like, the main character here looks super photorealistic. Some of the other races look a little bit more animated, but yeah, the CG here is gorgeous. There's this gorgeous shot where they go over a sword bridge. And yeah, anyway, otherwise, that's what I can praise. Despite that, the story is pretty bad. It's a bland, generic fantasy story just about like a team of questers fighting a dragon and this vague Game of Thrones Ice King guy. And then at the end, the dragon digivolves into a Hydra. So yeah, this looked really cool, but it really didn't leave a good impression on me. I'm giving this one a C rank for being average. Now the next one is Sifu. I have no idea what Sifu is. I heard of a movie called Sifu recently. It seemed like a gritty World War II movie. Honestly, this one sucks. It's one of the worst ones of the batch, and I'm kind of sad that it's the second episode. It felt like a commercial the entire time, and all I got from this commercial is that Sifu is an ultra-violent video game, maybe set in Hong Kong, about like an immortal Chinese man who goes clubbing and people try to kill him. This is an F rank. This is an outright fail. This is definitely one of the worst and most incomprehensible shorts of the batch. I'm also giving this one a special awful award for being the worst commercial of the bunch. Now, the third one was the impressive but weird Once and Future King starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, I have no idea what New World is, but it was very cool in the short to see Arnold Schwarzenegger young and tough again. And there was also an Easter egg here where he wore an armor that made him look like the Terminator. But on the flip side, the short is very short and it's entirely carried by Schwarzenegger's voice work, and it probably would have been total garbage without Schwarzenegger starring in it, which probably applies to a handful of these other movies too. But this one, like the Sifu trailer, also dealt with the concept that the character is immortal because of video game life logic, and this is going to be an ongoing thing. Then I feel like this whole series is going to kind of suck. This one's a B rank solely because Schwarzenegger carried it. Next one is Unreal Tournament. So this one's about a group of construction robots, and in this case, instead of the robots having infinite lives, what they imply here is that literally hundreds of robots died, but as they died, they build up some sort of continuous shared hive mind consciousness, which is different, so that's cool. But then the society gets mad at the robots and sends them to fight for their lives in a game show gladiator tournament. I guess an Unreal Tournament, as you would put it. And I guess eventually one of the robots gets really good at it and kind of wins. Now, I have a hard time with this one because I don't love it when like all the characters in the story are assholes, and this is kind of one of those. Like the only character who isn't an asshole is the robot, but that's because the robot doesn't talk, it doesn't have any personality. So like in the end where the robot becomes a violent, crazy hero, I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I don't know if he's going to like genocide all the humans. So yeah, this one just felt awkward to me. I'm giving this one a D rank. It's not the worst one, but there's literally like almost nothing good about it. Maybe it's good if you've played Unreal Tournament and you can relate to the robots, I guess. Because yeah, it was awkward and none of the characters were likable. Now after that is Warhammer. I heard online this one's being ranked as one of the highest shorts, and yeah. This one's pretty much 4 gritty space marines on steroids, butchering a planet full of biker hooligans, and oh my god, wow, this one's a masterpiece. Have you guys ever seen Space King by Flash Gits? Like, this is basically Space King done seriously, but with a budget. And yeah, I can instantly see why people would want a full version of this. It's heavy metal as fuck. It's definitely tapped into like this unexplored, like dark sci-fi niche. And yeah, I agree with everyone else that this is interesting enough to deserve a full movie treatment. So yeah, A rank because it's adequately definitely one of the best of the bunch here. And then we come to Pacman. Okay, holy shit. Pacman went hard and insane. So it starts off with a naked human abomination. I guess this is a high concept sci-fi. I kind of thought first they were doing some variation on the old urban legend that Pacman is a dead astronaut. But no, instead we get this storyline about a mutant and a yellow sphere. And the yellow sphere makes the mutant eat berries in a forest. The sphere tells the mutant that he has to eat or be eaten. The sphere also describes the world as a maze full of ghosts. Get it? Because it's Pac-Man. But yeah, so the mutant kills a baby pig and immediately gets mauled by its angrier parent pig. Eventually, they come to like a citadel where the mutant man fights a gorilla, and then the Pac-Man fuses with him, turning him into like Dark Pac-Man, and it seems like he's about to escape the maze. But then Mutant Man can't bear the weight of being Pac-Man, so he unfuses with the Pac Circle and dies. And then Pac-Man's just like, fuck him, I'm gonna do it all over again. Okay, what the fuck was that? Was that for real? Was that what they actually went with? That's fucking wild. Now, that was like some fucked up H.R. Geiger Euro horror there, and I don't think I can rank this one at all because it was so off the reservation from what I expected and what I think. Like, this one just like gets a 0 out of 100 because I can't tell if this is like the best episode because they took the most risks, or it's the worst one because it was like kind of next level grotesque. All right, so the next one is Crossfire. I have no idea what this is. Is it like Crossfire, that old board game with like the song Crossfire? But yeah, it starts with like some amazing establishing shots of Florida in a hurricane before going into some so-so human animation. The human animation here is kind of weird. Like, some of the characters look perfect, but some of them look a little off. Like, this one guy here looks perfect. Then there's this other guy here who's like too thin and it's got like a weird shaped head. And then there's this girl here who looks like she's like a weird half human, half anime girl with like a normal body, but then she's got like a giant nose and giant eyes. She's very weird because sometimes she looks normal, but then sometimes she looks super anime as fuck. Very, very weird cartoon character here. So anyway, yeah, this short, like, it's super boring and it's just like some mundane army combat, but I guess it's interesting to see two fully equipped armies fighting each other in like North America. That's kind of unique, even if I don't really understand the context of where it's coming from. I can't tell if these guys are like super criminals or if this is like a civil war or like a World War III scenario. Oh wait, is this like some kind of G.I. Joe situation? Is this like the Joes versus Cobra? It kind of feels like G.I. Joe to me. I'll say this. Whoever the hell made this short should direct the next G.I. Joe movie, because this is some of the best G.I. Joe shit I've seen since the 80s. If that's not what it is or what it's trying to be, it at least somehow succeeds as a G.I. Joe short. All right, C rank because I fully did not understand this one, but I guess the general idea here was that war is bad and that America would lose a war to America. And yeah, the G.I. Joe actionness of it was cool. All right, the next one is Armored Core starring Keanu Reeves. Now, once again, if this was a full 3-hour movie, oh my fuck god, yes, this would take all my money. This definitely is trying to earn my money and succeeding. Now, it looks like Armored Core 6 to me, only slightly darker, and yeah, this is masterfully done. This is an A-rank short. It was basically perfect, and it left me wanting more. Although Keanu Reeves' character being tall and skinny kind of felt weird to me, because I know like Keanu isn't that tall or that skinny. And the ending was kind of nasty, but despite that, Keanu Reeves carries this one in a good way, and it's fucking Armored Core, and it's fucking great. All right, so the next one was Outer Worlds, which is a game I've never played. I've heard it's like Space Fallout or a clone of Fallout or a Fallout ripoff, and I want to say this one also seemingly uses some pretty convincing actors on some CG shits. But yeah, so if I'm judging all these shorts as being commercials, this one wins it for the best commercial because I've never played Outer Worlds, but this short does make the Outer Worlds look fun and charming because it's apparently the Victorian era, but in space. So yeah, the main character is super likable. He's got like these earnest 1900s Irish immigrant vibes, but then horrible things happen to him because he's like pursuing love, and I honestly kind of feel awful for him because he loses all 4 of his limbs pursuing his long lost girlfriend who turns out to be insane and evil, and he doesn't get her anyway, so he just loses his limbs for nothing. Yeah, this one gets an A for me because it honestly kind of changed my mind about the game it's based on. Like, Outer Worlds seems appealing to me now. Like, I officially changed my mind about Outer Worlds because of the short. So this officially wins an award for being the best commercial. Now, the next one, the one that I know a lot of people want to hear my opinion on, is MegaMan the movie. Now, before I saw this, I kind of had my doubts on this. I kind of thought they would fuck it up. I don't super love the way MegaMan looks at the end of the short because the way they like rendered him, his face and his eyes and his helmet, I don't know, it all looks wrong. And in a lot of ways, it reminds me of the goofy Captain N version, except not green. And I'm also not sure why Bombman was apparently a giant robot. But despite all that, this short works, and I kind of dig everything about it. I love the way it treats the events as Mega Man 1 as like an apocalyptic newsworthy event, and that alone kind of like touched me deep inside. And I love especially the ending where it like ends on some super wonderful orchestrated Mega Man music. So yeah, the worst thing about this one is that it's only 5 minutes long, and it barely scratches the surface of what Mega Man is. It's literally just the origin story of Mega Man, but I would be so down for this to be a continued or otherwise full movie, and I really think it does like sell the idea of Mega Man to like casual audiences and shows that a Mega Man casual movie could work. So yeah, this gets an A rank just for like the love it shows to Mega Man. All right, next one is Exodus the Odyssey. This is another one I've never heard of, but it tells a pretty cool deep space time dilation story. I'm overall going to give this one a C. I kind of liked it, but I didn't love it, and I didn't connect with the characters. I thought the main guy was going to go insane and become like a supervillain, and since he didn't do that, I kind of felt the story was overall bland and useless. But I do respect the hard sci-fi here, and it's not the worst one. I might raise this up to a B. All right, next one is Spelunky. Oh, wow. So this is the first short in the entire pack that actually has a good cartoony art style. Although my first thought is it looks like it's a grim, gritty remake of Dora the Explorer. Like, this character is rocking the Dora hair and the Dora pink shirt, and she just looks like Dora the Explorer if she like leveled up to level 50. So yeah, this one brings back the weird immortality of death from video game logic that were in the first couple of shorts and focuses way too much on that. I don't super love that as a recurring theme, and honestly, every time they go back to it, it's kind of worse. I think it would be interesting if they had to include it in every video, but since it's not, the ones that feature it really heavy, like feature it relatively in the same way, and it comes off as uninteresting for the show. I'm going to end up ultimately giving this one a D, even though it does have one of the best art styles. It felt super derivative of the other shorts, and it felt like a bland Dora the Explorer clone. Now, next up was another one that was highly anticipated, Concord, the living trivia question. The movie for the game released months after the game was completely scrubbed for the internet. And once again, everyone related to this game has been fired and lost their job because it was so bad. So kind of surprised. I didn't hate this one, or at least it starts off pretty good. Like, it starts off really good with this like scene in a hospital, and Concord was hit down pretty hard because it was considered like a woke Guardians of the Galaxy game mixed with like an Overwatch clone, when quite frankly the market is being flooded with Overwatch clones. So I guess that wasn't a desired combo for a video game, but for a movie I guess it works a little bit better. I'm honestly surprised the movie started so decently, although there were definitely a lot of random poorly defined characters here and a lot of weirdly perverted Quentin Tarantino shots of like a black woman's armpit hair. But yeah, this doesn't work decently enough as a Guardians of the Galaxy ripoff movie. Like, there's nothing new here. There's nothing James Gunn didn't do better for Disney 10 years ago. So overall C rank, and yeah, this one wasn't as bad as I thought it could be. Oh wait, hold on. They spent like another 5 minutes arguing in the spaceship. Okay, yeah, that kind of makes it worse. I will give this a C if it was like only the first 5 minutes in the hospital, but the additional 5 minutes where nothing happens kind of brings it down to a D rank. Okay, next is Honor of the Kings, another game I'm super not familiar with. It looks like a Chinese Star Wars movie, which is kind of the nicest way I can describe it. Oh wait, they're just playing Go? Wait, they did all that serious sci-fi lead up to just play a game of Go? That's kind of hilarious to me. I mean, that's borderline awesome. So is Honor of the Kings just a Go game? Okay, this one started off lame, but the fact it's just about Go now makes it charmingly quirky to me because I love me some Go. The ending didn't super make sense, so this is another C rank one. Okay, so then we come to the last episode, which is called Playtime. I've never heard of Playtime either, so this one starts off with like a delivery girl who's got way too much attitude, and she lives in this world where everyone has these like buddy bot helpers. Is that like a reference to Astrobot? Anyway, I see a lot of PlayStation logos all throughout this one. Like, the girl has a PlayStation pin on her chest, and the random drug dealer gives her like a magic box covered in PlayStation logos. And then the Helldivers slow up and Shadow of the Colossus show up. Oh wait, is this short just like PlayStation Hits? Kratos shows up. Okay, yeah, it's definitely PlayStation Hits. Oh fuck, Sackboy shows up. And then I guess the robots go crazy. This is an F rank because this is definitely crossed the line that none of the others crossed, and this one feels most blatantly like a big commercial. Sifu was the worst commercial, but this is the most blatant commercial that's just like, buy a fucking PS5. And now I'm retroactively mad that they gave us this trash instead of a proper Shadow of the Colossus short. Okay, also, I just found what was going on with the fucking Pacman episode. Apparently the Pacman episode, which seemed like the weirdest and scariest one, was actually the one that was most literally a commercial. That was actually a setup for a new grim and gritty Pac-Man reboot that no one asked for. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's really a thing? Have people learned nothing from Bomberman X-Zero? You can't like take classic cutesy characters like this and reimagine them as like horror icons. Like, they just made a fucking Winnie the Pooh horror movie, for God's sakes. Okay, I mentioned that a lot of these shorts felt like commercials. Well, apparently the Pac-Man one was a goddamn stealth commercial for this high-concept, disgusting horror Pac-Man game. Ugh, the more things change, the more they stay the same. All right, so how was Secret Level? There's a couple of shorts here that are really good, and there's a couple, if not most of the shorts here, that are mid to bad. But I think the biggest problem with the show is that half the episodes, even some of the good episodes, just reek like commercials. Like, they feel like they were made by people who like only make commercials, or they feel like they were made to be a commercial first and a story second. The PlayStation 5 episode definitely is the most egregious of these. Also the Sifu episode, but yeah, like even some of the good episodes like MegaMan and Pacman, like at the end of the day, they're just long commercials, even if they are entertaining. But I mean, like, the animation is good all the way through, so I at least can say that there's some consistent, really good CG animation here. So if you're into animation, I'd just watch it for the animation. If you want to watch just the good ones, here are the ones that are good. All right, that's all I got to say about this. Maybe, hopefully, some of the stuff in here gets some follow-ups. All right, let me know what you thought of Secret Level. Leave a comment. I'll respond. Thank you. Good night.